Bob pressed his shotgun up against the hobo's head. "Don't move, motherfucker," Bob growled. Bob used the tip of his shotgun to push off the hobo's beanie, attempting to see if it was a human or zombie. The hobo greeted him. "Hey man, you just see a real bright light." Bob knew that was a drunk hobo voice, not a zombie. But Bob had already made the stupid-ass decision to harass a hobo at the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, so he went all in. "Fuck you, give me your money," Bob demanded. The hobo looked back confused and almost laughed. "Money?" Bob tried reaching into the front pocket of the hobo's jeans, but the hobo protested. As they fought, the hobo rolled over and it looked like he had something in his back pocket. "Ah, what you got there?" Bob said confidently as he reached into the hobo's back pocket. But there was no back pocket, and Bob jammed his hand into an ass full of creamy, chunky hobo diarrhea. Bob's eyes widened in horror. The hobo's mouth curved into a perverted smile. "Oh, fuck!" Bob pulled his hand out and it was like he had his hand in a bowl of Nutella and peanut butter flavored pancake mix with extra nuts. Bob shook his hand violently and the terrible mixture sprayed both actors in the scene. An instant later the smell hit Bob. It was a shit smell like nothing Bob had ever smelled. And we must remember that Bob was a person whose favorite food is Hot Pockets. The smell was otherworldly. It was such a terrible smell that it almost flipped the scales from nasty to become sweet and ripe. But there was also an ammonia smell to it that Bob had never smelled before. It must have been a special level of drug-addicted, trash-eating hobo shit. Bob gagged and almost passed out. Bob stumbled and came to, in a state of anger that is reserved for when you're covered in shit. Without any more thinking, Bob put the shotgun to the hobo's neck, and the shotgun roared, breaking the strange silence and echoing through all of Hollywood as Bob blew off the hobo's neck. The hobo's head popped up, the shit-eating perverted grin still on his face. His teeth actually had shit on them, so it was an extra shit-eating grin. Somehow, the dead hobo's eyes still had a glimmer of hope in them as his head sailed slowly through the air. Then his head fell into his own shit and the glimmer of hope faded really fucking fast. A few moments later, Bob heard what sounded like footsteps coming from Rock and Roll Ralph's. The sound morphed into voices, then yelling. Then suddenly a horde of zombies turned both corners and filled the streets on both sides of Bob. He was trapped. He attempted to reload his shotgun, but his hobo shit-covered hands gunked up the works. Bob's dumbass decision to accost a hobo was turning out to be the worst decision of his life. All of his planning for the zombie apocalypse, and now he's gonna die rummaging through some hobo's diarrhea-ridden pants. His shitty hand prevented him from reloading, and now his shotgun has one shell and was slathered in diarrhea. It might not even shoot. Even though he only had one shot and there were hundreds of zombies coming for him, he held the shotgun up with one hand and pulled the trigger. His shotgun roared one last time. The pellets scattered and hit a bunch of zombies. It didn't kill any of them, and it barely affected the horde. They calmly ripped Bob to shreds and ate him alive. He was able to watch two prostitute-looking zombies rip off his scrotum, fight over it, then decide to share one ball each. His final memory. The zombie horde devoured Bob and moved on a few minutes later. As they lurched away, they left one piece behind. Bob's hobo diarrhea-covered hand. Bob died like a dumbass.